How you doing, folks? My name is Spoons, and I am your answering questions wizard. And I'll be answering the questions that you guys left me in my last question and answers video. And if you want to, you can leave a question down below, and I'll answer it in my next question and answers video. But let's just get right into the questions now. The first one is coming from Recon X, and he asks, can you 720 blind fire Superman, a Savage Marauder, on checkout with a long shot? Well, you bet your fine ass I can. I can do that 300 times blindfolded while I'm running on the Wall of China. Actually, I've never done that, to be completely serious, but, it's worth a shot. Maybe I'll give it a go next time I'm on Gears 3. Anyway, let's get into the next question. And this is coming straight from my buddy Rorschach. You guys probably know him. And he's asking, what's your favorite game for SNES and N64? Well, let's see. My favorite game for N64, I believe that was the first console I actually had as a kid, would probably have to be The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm a pretty big Zelda fan, and that was the first Zelda game I really got into, and it remains my favorite. And I know it's a lot of people's favorite game, so maybe that's a bad answer just because a lot of people probably say that, but yeah, that is definitely my favorite N64 game. As far as SNES, I never owned one, but my cousin did, and we played a lot of Super Mario Brothers, or Super Mario World. I don't really remember what it was called, but it was the pretty much original, maybe? I'm not sure, but the Super Mario game on SNES. I had a lot of fun with that, and that would probably be my favorite one for SNES, although I didn't play a lot of it. Alright, so the next question, good question there, Rorschach, is coming from ESS Lava, and he is asking, why is your name Spoons? Well, I've actually got this question quite a bit, just because Spoons is a kind of weird name. It's a bunch of inanimate objects. Why would you name yourself after that? Well, actually, when I was a kid, well, I like to still consider myself a kid, but anyway, when I was a kid, I actually had the nickname Spoons. My dad gave it to me, and I'm pretty sure it was because I was a really tall kid, and I had really long legs, and I guess they were referred to as spoons or something like that. Like when I was walking, they sort of looked like spoons. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not really sure the direct answer for that. I'd have to ask my dad. But yeah, he gave me that nickname when I was a kid, and I decided to use it on the internet. And I get confused for Spoon, the famous, YouTube famous guy, Mama Spoon or whatever his name is. And I'm not him, but I like to think of myself as Spoons. I'm different than him. He's only one spoon, plus he doesn't spell it right. He uses zeros. Anyway, that's why my name is Spoons. It was a nickname my dad gave me when I was a kid. Slaughter, my buddy Slaughter, that's what the next question is, who the next question is coming from, and he asks, are you growing a pedo stash? Well, as you can see, I did shave. I'm starting to grow back a little bit. I don't grow my facial hair out to look like a pedophile, but that's sometimes what just happens. I am not a pedophile, so no, I'm not growing a pedo stash. I actually I don't shave at school, and I'm at school for 5 days a week, and I just don't bring my shaving stuff to school, so I usually shave on the weekends. So if you see it growing out, it's pretty much just because I'm lazy. But yeah, no, I'm not growing a pedo stash, and my facial hair actually doesn't grow in that quickly. I'm not a real man, but nah, yeah, I'm not growing a pedo stash. Thank you for that question, Slaughter. Let's see. Next question is coming from Larzum. I believe that's how you say that. Larzum25. What color is your toothbrush? I'm actually not sure. No, I actually know. I use a Philadelphia Eagles toothbrush. Yes, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and as you can tell, I'm a big fan because I have a Philadelphia Eagles toothbrush. So it is Philadelphia Eagles green with a logo of the Eagles on it. That is the color of my toothbrush. Next question is coming from my buddy Devise, and he's asking why you like Chipotle. Their sauce tastes like ass. Well, I love Chipotle because their sauce doesn't taste like ass. I love Chipotle. It is so good, and I go there way too much. And I know Devise is a big hater of Chipotle, but hey, hate is gonna hate, ball is gonna ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a gangster. All right, next question is coming from SHU, or HSU, sorry for that. Apparently I had a dyslexic moment. HSU Tony, and he's asking, what's your top 5 worst game ever played that made you rage and feel like vomiting? I'm not sure if there was a game that actually made me feel like vomiting. I will say that probably the biggest game that has made me rage, other than Gears of War, just because I love Gears of War so much, and I do rage a lot at that, but that's just because I play it a lot. Just because some of the moments are ridiculous. I'd have to say Super Meat Boy. That game got me pretty freaking pissed off. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but just some of it is like, oh my god, they expect people to put hours and hours and hours into one level on that game. Just, I don't know. It is a fun game, but oh my god, if you haven't played it yet and you plan on playing it, be prepared to freaking want to break your freaking computer or Xbox, whatever you're playing it on. It is a very frustrating game, and I'm actually getting a little upset just thinking about it. But great question there, HSU Tony. Joshua Freeman, I believe, has the next question. He actually says he has a few here. The first question here is, do you think the carbine in Titanfall should be nerfed or any specific gun buffed? I don't really think the carbine should be nerfed. I think it's well balanced, just because it's an assault rifle, and I believe it's the only one in the game. So if you sort of nerf that, I feel like you're not really doing assault rifle players justice. And I always stick by the phrase, if everything is overpowered, then nothing will be. And that is sort of the mentality for the game Loadout. If you've ever played that game, they sort of have all these different weapons, and they are all overpowered. But that pretty much renders itself as not overpowered at all. So no, I don't think the carbine in Titanfall should be nerfed. And any other specific gun buff, not really. I do think that the range of the shotgun should be tweaked a bit. I feel like it should have a spread instead of a further range, just because a shotgun is supposed to have a spread. So if it has a spread and it shortens the range, then I think I'll be fine with that. But I'm tired of getting killed from like 40 meters away by a shotgun in one shot. So yeah, that is pretty frustrating. But anyway, next question is coming from the same guy here. He asks, which Titan chassis and weapon do you think is the best and which is the worst and why? Personally, I use the Strider a lot, and I think a lot of people will actually back me up on this. I do use the Strider quite a bit. Actually, I use it all the time, and that's just because I think that the dashes are very, very important when you're in a Titan battle. The ability to actually strafe your opponent very quickly, and strafing is a huge part of any game, a shooter, really. So if you can strafe your opponent, which the Strider is fantastic at, then you can pretty much beat them if you have good aim. Now, what weapon do I think is the best? Let's see. Oh, by the way, the worst Titan chassis, I wouldn't say there's a worse one, or a bad one, but the Ogre, I just don't like the Ogre because he's just too slow. Sure, he eats a lot of bullets, but I don't know, he's just too slow, and I feel like if I'm ever outnumbered, I'm pretty much screwed, especially if I'm outnumbered by other Ogres. At least with a Strider, I'll be able to get away and push to my teammates and sort of get some protection from them. Now, I guess you mean Titan weapon. I like the 40mm cannon, which is the worst Titan weapon. The railgun, I believe, plasma railgun. I don't like that thing at all. I think it's pretty hard to use, and I don't know. It's not a gun for me. All right. Next question you ask is, what do you want most from the future Titanfall DLC? Maps. I like new maps and new game modes. That's the big two things that I would want. I'm fine with the 15 maps now. That is absolutely fine with me. So if they just came out with DLCs that had game modes, even though they confirm that maps will be in each DLC, but if they never confirmed that and it was only game modes, I'd be completely fine with that too. I am completely satisfied with 15 maps. I still don't know them all that well, to be honest. I don't know them, to the point where I'd be a competitive player, but I know them decently, and yeah, I am completely satisfied with the map. So I guess game modes would be what I want most from the future Titanfall DLC. Original game modes. I don't really want to copy from some other game, at least not a popular game mode from another game. If it was an unpopular game mode and it was a good game mode, then I definitely want that. All right, next question we got is coming from Michael Makowski. Hope I'm saying that right. What's the first video game you've ever played? Ooh, that's a tough one. You know, I think before I got my N64, this might be completely wrong. I haven't even checked this. It might have been like Pajama Sam on the computer. I'm not sure. Or Freddy the Fish, maybe. I think those were my first two games that I ever played as a kid. If you aren't sure what they are, they're pretty much like room-based games. So you're gonna be able to click, move to the next room, do some stuff, click, move to the next room, sort of like that new South Park game. Except, you know, a lot less vulgar. But yeah, I think it was Pajama Sam or Freddy the Fish, maybe. I think I'm missing one more. I don't remember. All right, good question there. I like it. Innocent Name 123 has the next and final question here. What is your favorite Titan chassis, Ogre, Strider, or Atlas? I answered this, and I would have to say Strider. And it's not your fault for asking. I'm not saying it's your fault for asking the question, but I just happened to answer this. I didn't even realize there was a duplicate in questions. But favorite Titan chassis would have to be my Strider, and just because I think it's fast, agile, and that's really the way that I play. It truly depends on your play style, to be honest. If you're sort of, excuse me, a little burp there. If you're sort of in the middle, you know, you're not someone that's going to be wanting to take a lot of damage and you want to be kind of mobile, Atlas is good. If you want to, you know, be an ogre, take a lot of damage, be a tank on the team, that's fine. And Strider is just agile. I like that about it. So yeah, that is all the questions. I really appreciate you guys asking all of them, and if you want to leave questions down below, I'll answer them in the next question and answers video. I really appreciate you guys asking those questions, and I will play myself out. Sorry if I broke your eardrums.